Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's edition of the Create, Engage, Succeed show. I am your co-host, Mary Nunley, with my awesome co-host.
Amadeus Nunley.
And today we have an amazing guest, Mostafa. I don't know how to say your last name, so I'm going to let you introduce yourself because I butcher names regularly.
Thanks for having me. Mostafa Hosseini here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. We are so excited to have you. And growing up with a name that no one could pronounce, I've since learned that I always want people to say their own names. So one of the things is Mostafa is a serial entrepreneur and a business coach. He's the founder of, all right, I'm probably going to butcher this one also, Persyo Inc.
Persyo.
Persyo. Okay, you'll have to tell us a little bit about that. He's
Sure.
the host of the Daily Confidence for Entrepreneurs podcast. Highly encourage you to listen to that. He is the creator of the Simple Marketing Formula, which we're going to be talking about in a little bit. He's the creator of the Simple Offer Formula and a whole bunch more. He's been coaching for over 10 years, helping businesses in various niches and industries grow, scale, and become profitable. As you're beginning to notice a trend on our show, I have never met Mostafa aside from Zoom. So he is in my growing cadre of really cool people that someday I'm going to meet in person. So
Looking forward to it.
I am as well. So Mostafa, I told you this is not a normal show. So hopefully you don't mind the little asides and such. But why don't you take a moment to tell our audience about yourself? And then we're going to roll right into some of the questions that we have.
Absolutely. So I'll tell you a little bit about my story, if that's okay.
Sure.
So I went to school for engineering for like 2.5 years, didn't like it, dropped out. And I got into the business school, absolutely loved it, started doing really well with a high GPA, got a diploma in marketing management. Then I went on to get a degree in business management with a minor in marketing. And I was really enjoying because as a child, I always wanted to grow up and run my own business. So talking and learning about business is like music to my ears. You did not have to convince me to show up to my business classes. But for two reasons. One, I love the classes. And then two, the classes were like 70 or 80% good looking girls. So I could not pass on that. So back in 2010, I started Persyo Marketing, and we did full service digital marketing services.
Wow.
For our clients. And we did anything from web design to hosting, advertising, copywriting, email marketing. We did everything for them. So, and then along with coaching and consulting our clients. Personally, I'm a nature guy. I love mountains, spending time in the nature, barbecue, hiking, walking around, dipping in cold water in winter and summer. Love nature. My top 3 values are family, business, growth, and learning. And so that's me in a minute or two.
Oh, Mostafa, the reason I'm laughing is I started out as a business major and absolutely hated it and switched to history.
Nice.
Amadeus and I are pretty much about as anti-outdoors as you get. So,
Wow.
so I'm just listening to this going, oh, how cool. We are like on total opposite sides of the spectrum here. And yet we're still in business for ourselves. And we have spent many years outdoors, mostly schlepping around tennis courts.
That's nice. That's still outdoors, right?
Yeah, it's a whole
I don't know.
different thing, but I do love the cold weather, so we do at least have that in common. But anyway, we like to keep our guests off balance and share some
Sure.
little tidbits about ourselves. So Amadeus, you've got some questions. Why don't you get started?
Sure. So we'll roll into that pretty quickly. So what are since we are learning the ways of marketing ourselves, what do you think some of the top marketing challenges for business owners are that you've seen or come across?
Sure thing. So number one challenge when it comes to marketing is people say they don't know what to do to grow their business.
Mhm.
In my years of marketing, that's the number one challenge, as I've talked to a lot of people. And the fact of the matter is that there are a lot of what you might call it solutions out there, and everyone claims to have the secret sauce to success. And so people get puzzled, for lack of a better term, on what to do. And business owners wear so many hats that, you know, uh, as chief everything officers, marketing is one of many things that they need to do. So and I'm not surprised when people say um, they don't know what to do.
Right.
Right.
Another challenge that they have is they're poking around at too many different marketing ideas, tools, services, products, and you name it. And when you're poking around too many things, there's a chance that some of them are not going to work, and they'll be, wasting a lot of time, money, energy, and resources on different programs. And another one is they're not getting positive return on their marketing dollars and hours. So those are some of the top challenges that I've come across. I'm sure the list is obviously a lot longer, but these are some of the stuff that I hear all the time.
Right. Well, I was going to say what you said really encapsulates what we've been going through as well. It's like shiny object, pick this, do that. How come nothing's working?
Absolutely. And that you're not alone on that. It's, I would say 80-90% of business owners experience that.
Wow.
Absolutely.
So how do you get people past that?
So how do we get past that? So we first need to figure out what our goal is. Okay. What exactly do you want to achieve in your business? So another issue when we run into with business owners is when you ask them, what do you want to create? They can't describe exactly what they want to create. And so how much sales do you want? They say a lot of sales, a lot of money, right? 6 figures, right? Well, 100 grand is 6 figures, 900 grand is 6 figures, but there's a long way between 100 and 900 grand. And so which one do you want? And so if you don't know what you want, getting it becomes impossible. That's why the failure rate, that's part of the reason why failure rates in businesses are really high. It's like, what do you want? I don't know what I want. Okay, great. But you're not going to get it.
Right.
So we create a goal and a plan to get there. Right. And the way we tackle that is create a goal and a plan to get there. And here's my story on that. Back in 2017, we were serving a lot of customers and we were doing a lot of things for them. We reached a point where our customers were making way more money than we were doing with our solutions and our ideas and our strategies. Have you ever been there where your customers doing better than you are? And then we're like, something is not right because, and then I read 3 books that changed the course of my life. First book, and if you're listening or watching, you might want to write these down. 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel, who is one of the co-founders of PayPal.
Okay.
Now, in that book, he explains why competition is for losers. And when I read the book, I definitely felt like a loser because there was a ton of competition for what we were doing. And I felt like a loser. Out of interest for time, I'm not going to dig too much into it. So he's like, you've got to be in a place where you don't have any competitors, or you have very few competitors.
Okay.
For obvious reasons. You have the whole market, you can do what you want, it's very profitable, it's easy to market, and the rest of it. And then I read the 80-20 principle by Richard Koch, which showed me the 80-20 principle. And we were doing too many services, too many offers, too many marketing things, and we were not seeing enough results. So from there, I learned that I need to simplify everything. And then I read Essentialism by Greg McKeown, which kind of combined with the 80-20 principle and what I learned in 0 to 1 became really powerful. So I sat down and I came up with simple marketing formula.
Nice.
So through simple marketing formula, what we do is we try to simplify and consolidate everything that needs to happen onto a 1-page marketing plan that we could use and see and check and double check on a daily basis.
Oh, no, that's nice. So you want to
Smart.
tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. So you see what happens. Another challenge that some people that even do have a goal or a plan is the goal or the plan is usually sitting somewhere collecting digital or physical dust in a computer or on a shelf.
Right.
Because either they write it and put it there, like, do you have a goal? Yeah. What is it? Oh, I don't know. Let me go find out what my goal is. Right. Very common, very typical. And then even another challenge is people that pay a company anywhere from $5,000 to $100,000 to develop a plan, or maybe even more. It comes in a form of a booklet, where it's usually sitting somewhere collecting dust. I mean, you would not go through a booklet on a daily or weekly or monthly basis, right?
Right.
They show it to the bank to get a loan or something, and they're done with it. So we're like, I need something that is simple, that I can use on a daily basis. And here is why. Let me use an analogy if it's okay.
Sure.
If you're flying from Toronto to LA, on average, how often do you want the plane and the pilot to check to see if it's en route from Toronto to LA? How often?
Pretty regularly.
Pretty regular, like every minute.
Or at least every 2 or 3 minutes. Yes.
Right. And so if I mean, the plane doesn't go Toronto to Montreal, down to Florida, down to Alaska, go zigzag until it's like, it does a bit of zigzag, but the plane and the pilot are constantly checking. I'm pretty sure there's a software that does it, right? And so if your plan is simple and the goal is simple and doable, you can check it on a daily or weekly basis to see if you're en route to your destination. And if you don't check, what happens is you go on 6 months or a year or 2 or 3 or 5, and you're like, oh my God, we are about 3,000 miles away from our goal.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes.
That's if you have a goal, right? And so we want to check. So can I share some details about what you will see in a one-page plan?
Yeah, no, I was just going to ask, because that sounds like something we need. So if you would like to share some details or how somebody could get introduced to your system, that would be amazing.
Absolutely. Okay, so here are 6 components in a simple plan. Number 1, your numbers. How much do you want for sales in the next 90 days or 12 months? What is your average monthly sales? What have you break it down to what's my average? What is the average monthly sales that I'm working towards? Okay. And then we got our marketing budget, the education budget. We got the number of customers that we need to acquire to reach our sales goal. That's a big number to know, right? How many customers do I need to reach $1 million or to reach $100,000 in sales? That's a very important number, because if I know how many customers I need, I could kind of work it back assward, right? And say, all right, if I need 20 customers this year divided by 12, and it will give me, I'm not good with math. So let's say
2.5 people.
2.5 people per month, right? Then I could say, how many do I need per week, right? Then I could adjust my actions and plans accordingly.
Okay.
To get there. Do you see how that becomes a lot easier when you know?
Yes.
Right?
Because now you can sit there and go, wait, it's the last week of the month and I don't have any new customers. What am I going to do?
Exactly. Let's get on the phone. Let's do some promotions. Let's talk to some people, or let's get some exposure. Next step is your target market and your specialty. Here's another problem that a lot of businesses have. One, they don't have a target market. They say we serve everybody and anybody that has a pulse. They say, but in actuality, they don't serve everybody. Like people that don't afford it, they can't afford it. People that don't care about your services, they're not in the market, they're somewhere else. They're not your target market. So you want to be as specific and narrow about your target market as possible. And here's what happens and what transpires when you become specific about your target market. Finding them becomes a lot easier. Them finding you becomes a lot easier. Getting referrals to that specific group of people becomes a lot easier. That's the second part. Next, we need to figure out what we specialize in, what we do for these people. right? Again, it's not everything for that people. If you want to be profitable and make good money, you got to specialize in something. Like if you show up to me and say, we build cell phones and electric cars and we build computers and we do everything under the sun, you would just run as fast as possible or make an excuse to get away from me. And if I say, hey, would you like to buy a computer from me? You'd be like, oh, let me talk to my partner, right?
Yes.
So that's step number 2. Target market specialty. Then we get into creating your offer. What is your customer want? What are we offering for them? And then we go into simplifying marketing. And that is, what do you do for lead generation, lead conversion, and client retention?
Ah.
How do I find leads? How do I convert them? How do I keep my customers? Okay. So once we figure out these 6 pieces, you know what you're, and that is the 20% of marketing that delivers 80% of results.
Very good.
Okay. And so you might be wondering, if I may, sorry, that was a long answer to your simple question, but.
That's all right. I was going to say, how do you make this work though?
Okay. So here's the next piece. For lead generation, the question is, what is one lead generation strategy that I'm going to do, conquer, optimize so that it brings me leads when I'm sleeping in the next 3 months to 12 months? One lead generation strategy, not 2, not 3, not 12. Get one thing working for you. So if you put all of your efforts on, say, Facebook advertising, get that to work, optimize it, bam, it can bring you leads while you're sleeping. So
no, that makes sense. So do you find that a lot of business owners, and I know we're running close to time, but do you find a lot of business owners try to do a little bit of everything and that's why they're not successful? It's like, let me do Facebook ads, let me do LinkedIn, let me do Instagram, let me do TikTok, let me do.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the problem, like poking around at 12 different things. And then we see all these amazing sales pitches and offers. They're like, this one thing could revolutionize your entire world. And you go in and you realize it's actually not one thing. It's like 1,200 things, right? So yeah, the answer is yes. People are doing too many things and that's why they're not seeing results.
Awesome. So you've talked about this simple marketing plan. How can people learn more? And do you have a gift for our audience that kind of sort of gets their interest going?
Absolutely. So I'd like to share the template to our simple marketing plan, the one-page plan that you could fill out on your own. I got the link here. I don't know how I could share it with your audience.
I'm going to put it on the comments to the video, so it's out there for everybody.
Beauty. So once you visit that link, it will take you to the to download our one-page marketing plan template. Once you download it, you could fill it out on your own, and you will get an opportunity to join us at our workshop to do it together. Because together is a lot easier, where we support you, where we'll work together with a group of like-minded entrepreneurs who are going through the same thing, and it's a lot of fun when you do it together. But
it sounds like it.
If you want to do it on your own, which I don't advise.
Well, and I think if you're a typical entrepreneur who's like into 55 different things, getting that focus to do it on your own, being in a workshop or being with someone can guide you to say, no, you probably don't want to do this. Have you thought about that? Might be really beneficial.
Yes.
So let's say that Amadeus or I wanted to join that workshop because we're working on our marketing for next year. How could we become part of this?
So as soon as you download, you're going to land on a page where it says, would you like to join us live and do it together with our community? And you could say yay or nay.
Oh, awesome.
And
that's really easy.
And very reasonable and affordable. And look, running a business is a team sport, right? You can do it on your own, but you will only go probably to 100, 150 grand. That's it. And you're going to be very tired and frustrated. And it's not a really good place to be in. But once you work together with other people, it becomes a lot easier. So
Mostafa, you talked a lot about team. You've talked about marketing. We're almost out of time, but this last question that I have for you is, What about your fees? Like, okay, so you broke it down and you decided how much you want, but one of the things that we hear from folks that we associate with is like, well, how do I know what to charge? And I don't want to charge too much, and I'm going to scare people off. Is that part of this marketing plan as well?
We work on do we work on prices? No, we don't get time to work on prices.
And not
But
necessarily like
inside our
prices, but
program, in our
strategy.
mastermind program, we work on our price strategy. So there are a few things about your pricing strategy. One is go around, do some research in the market and see what others are charging. Number two is to confirm, go back to your customers or potential customers and put the offer in front of them and say, what are you willing to pay for this? And they'll tell you whether it's $50 or free or $10 million, whatever the number is, they'll give you, right?
Uh-huh.
That's another way. And then put your intuition into it as to where you want to be. Do you want to be on the cheap side? Do you want to be in the middle ground or on the more expensive side, depending on who you serve?
Mm-hmm.
And people have this fear about price. And my thing is, try it. You got nothing to lose, right?
That's true.
And most people are undervaluing and underselling their products and services, right? In a lot of cases, you could double, triple, or 10x, 20x your price, and you're still undervaluing your price, right? But so by going around, doing a little bit of research in the market, and even the most significant sources asking your customers, what are you willing to pay for if I offered you this? And they'll tell you.
Oh, I like that.
So
what is your last word of wisdom to the audience? And how can people get in touch with you if they have questions aside from the downloadable?
If you visit our site, you can get a hold of me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, on our website, any social or web on our website.
Excellent.
My thing is about know what you want, have a plan to get there, and make it simple for yourself.
I like it. I like it. And this, I'm looking at the download already. It's like, ooh, this is powerful. So if you haven't downloaded it, download it and then join the workshop.
Absolutely.
Audience, any last words before we wrap up?
I wish you.
Not much. I would just say it's great that I hear very similar things from him and James of you should just focus on find one or two things to do. Don't listen to everybody. Just find one or two things that work and do that. And I think that's more people need to hear that as much as they can.
Absolutely.
This is wonderful. Well, Mostafa, thank you for spending some time with us today. This has been eye-opening for myself, and it also reinforces that some of the things that we're working on our business right now for next year, we're right on the right path. So don't be surprised when one of us appears in that workshop.
Fantastic. I look forward to hanging out with you.
Excellent. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, and we will talk to you soon.
Absolutely.
All right. Bye, everybody. This is Mary and
Amadeus
and
Mostafa
signing off for this week's episode of Create, Engage, Succeed. We'll see you next time. Bye.